Jesse, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So one player you've got on your preliminary squad, Jonathan David, he announced that he's leaving Lille at the end of this season. Two questions for you. One, what kind of club do you think Jonathan David needs to move to? And two, do you foresee any situation in which he will be available for the Gold Cup this summer?
Um, Thanks, Josh. Yeah. Well, first, I spoke with his agent today, and I'm going to speak with Johnny this week. He's on vacation for a week, which I think is more than well deserved considering the amount of matches he played this year and the performance he had in the season this year. For me, I don't ever really get too much into where is he going and what is best. That's for him and his team to, I think, sort through. But knowing Johnny's going to want to play. He's going to want to go to the best club he can be at, and I think achieve the most in terms of what it would mean to compete for trophies in Europe. But he's going to want to play as well. So, and I think that's important. I think the most important thing for him is it's not good if he goes somewhere and then he has to play on the bench a lot and not get minutes to keep himself sharp and fit and ready to go, especially with the World Cup being a year away. So I think he'll figure that out. Him and his team will figure that out, and I'm sure they'll make a good decision. And then I think, it obviously depends on does he go to a team in the Club World Cup? If he does, do they make him one of their two additions to the squad for the tournament? And if not, then I would expect that he's ready to play with us, or if he goes to a club that's not in the Club World Cup. So that's yet to be determined. I don't even think Johnny really knows quite yet what that is, but I'm sure he'll make a good decision. And yeah, we're hopeful that he can be with us this summer. But more importantly, we want him to be in a good situation so that the next year that he has under his belt really leads him into the 2026 World Cup in a good way.
Thank you, Coach. Just a reminder for everyone in the press, if you're interested in asking a question, use the hand emoji so that I can see you. Let's go ahead with the next question with Ronald Bloom. Go ahead, Ronald Bloom.
Hey, Jesse, thanks for doing this. There have been a number of reports of a sharp decline in Canadian tourists to the U.S. the last few months. Do you fear, given everything going on, that a certain percent of the Canadian supporters won't want to travel to the U.S. because of fear of what's in store for them at the border?
I think that's a fair question. And I could see trepidation for anyone looking to travel to the US at this current political climate. So it's a sad thing, I think, that we have to talk about visiting the US in this way. But I think everybody has to make decisions that are best for them and that fit best with what's going on in their life and their lifestyle. It would be a shame if we didn't get the kind of fan support that I think our team deserves from our country, from our fans, because of the political climate. Especially if we could achieve a lot in this tournament and get to the final, which is our goal. So I'm not sure how everybody will act or react to what the situation is, but I certainly hope that we have big support in these meaningful matches. I know we will in Vancouver. I know that there's a lot of people in Vancouver that are excited to get the team there. We're excited to play on grass in BP Place. We're excited about the opportunity to open the tournament on our own soil in preparation for a home World Cup next year. And then, yeah, we're hopeful to be very competitive and make a deep run in this tournament.
Next question, Stephen Goff, please. Stephen Goff, go ahead.
Hey, Jesse. Thanks for your
Hi.
time.
Yeah, no problem.
There's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the 1 year out and this being the last tournament before World Cup. Is it that critical to perform well in a tournament setting with still a year to go, or is this are you okay? Is there some leeway with not hitting your stride in such a tournament rhythm as a Gold Cup?
We want to win, Stephen. Like, no question. We're going to this tournament to try to win a trophy. But there will be some extenuating circumstances, and one of those being like, how many of our guys can we get into the tournament due to injury, due to being part of the Club World Cup? So there'll be still some decisions made on exactly what our final squad looks like. But we're excited to look at more players, to broaden our player pool, to rotate players in tournament format, to give us ourselves the best chance to perform at the highest level possible late in the tournament. I think we have a lot of young players that need more opportunities to play real minutes. So there's a lot of ways, I think, to use the tournament to broaden our player pool and to strengthen what we're doing with our team. But in the end, we want to win. We were disappointed with Nations League, even though we thought we played well in 2 matches. And in the end, we're really trying to build a lot of belief, competitive will, and ability to win big matches and be our best when the games are the best. So we're excited. We're excited for that, and we're excited for the challenge, and we're excited for the expectation, and we're ready. We're ready to go.
Ben Steiner, please. Next question.
Thanks for doing this, Jesse. Just a question about Tajon Buchanan. Of course, a big weekend for him, scoring against Barcelona. Getting him back in a tournament environment after what happened at the Copa America last summer. What are you hoping to see from Buchanan this summer?
Well, in general, we thought that in March, Tajon looked really good. He played both matches that he played. I thought he performed really well and looked like himself. Obviously, he's only going to gain confidence from scoring a winning goal against Barcelona in the Bernabeu, at Camp Nou. And so, this will be, I think, a really good moment for him to really continue to push his form and then solidify whatever decision gets made and where he'll be next year, but to continue the momentum so that come next summer, he's in the best form of his life. And certainly for Tajon and for us, I've told Tajon flat out that the best version of our national team has Tajon in the starting lineup and playing at his top level. So that will be a big emphasis this summer, is to really keep pushing Tajon's fitness, game fitness, and level at which he plays.
John Arnold, next in line, please.
Hi, Jesse. Talking about winning trophies, and Alejandro mentioned the 2000 triumph. I wonder if, as you have kind of taken on this role, embraced managing Canada, what you've kind of looked back at, if you've watched some YouTube or talked to some folks who were involved in that, and if you maybe use that as some level of motivation, that history, that historic triumph now 25 years ago.
We actually used some of that because they won the tournament in the Coliseum, which is where we trained for Nations League. So we've talked a little bit about this, the success that team had, the journey that team went on. To be honest, the game was played. We're probably half our team wasn't even born yet, which is crazy to think. But I know that, look, in the end, there's some lessons to be learned from that. But this is a new group, a new team, I think a more established group, a higher level team. And if that team could do it, and it was an incredible accomplishment in 2000, then we should feel strongly about our ability to match that feat. It will be a big challenge. It's a long month. It's a big grind. There's a lot of travel. There's heat. There's good teams to play. But we're excited. We're excited about the challenges and about the opportunity.
Thank you, John. Jose Rodriguez.
Thank you. This is Jose Rodriguez from Deportes Total USA. Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your opponents in the group, in particular Honduras and El Salvador. Obviously, El Salvador getting just a new coach in a last few months, and Honduras with a little bit more work. Both of them Colombians, by the way. What are your thoughts on the two teams? Thank you.
Yeah, I think Honduras is a very athletic team, a very strong team, a dynamic team that's good in transition. They defend hard. They defend well. They're very athletic. So we know that, they gave a real hard time to Mexico in the lead up to Nations League, and we've watched those games very carefully, but also have reviewed a lot of what their players have been doing over the last months. And we know that that's a team that will come to Vancouver with the opportunity to upset us, to challenge us, to give us the best game. And so we're excited about that. And then El Salvador, I think, is an intelligent team, a savvy team, a scrappy team, a team that fights for everything, that really has good team spirit and a willingness to fight for each other and play for each other, and still has quality, and specifically quality around the goal. So both games, Honduras is a big challenge physically, and then for us to tactically be disciplined over 90 minutes will be really important. And then I think against El Salvador is to not lose concentration, and in moments where we're on top of the game, not to let the game get loose, not to let their good attacking players get out in the transition and cause us problems and start getting set pieces and putting balls in the box. So, we have respect for both opponents. I think our group is the toughest group in the Gold Cup, but I think this is great preparation for us in all ways to try to push ourselves so that we're ready to achieve the knockout round and then do well in the knockout round and get to the final, and then good preparation for us for next year's home World Cup.
Joshua Cloak, go ahead.
Hey, Jesse, just another one.
Two questions. Wow, you're monopolizing, Josh.
Yes, I am. I don't know where everybody else is. I don't know what's going on. Don't blame me. Can you kind of update us on your continued search for dual nationals, and especially how much you think that search and those efforts are going to impact your plan for the 2026 squad?
Yes. So someone reported about Tristan Blackman, and we did speak. One of the things that we talked about was, if you're going to be part of this national team, that you have to really feel a connection to it. And as an American without real blood ties, it's really important that he understands what it means to play for this country and what it means to play with these guys on this team. And so I think he could be a really good addition for us. But it's exploratory in the moment. And then, there's other discussions that have been had, visits that have been had. I'd say that a lot of them have gone really well. It's a case by case basis. Like each person's family history and career trajectory and what it would mean to be part of the Canadian national team versus another national team, it all means something different. And again, I think one of the keys is this team is really unified and really strong together. And they're very proud to represent Canada and what it means to be Canadian and what it means to play for the Canadian national team. And so for me, on all of these discussions, that's on the first line is, what does this mean to you, right? How do you feel about playing for Canada? How do you feel about representing the nation and the flag? And so, because I know it as a foreigner that it's meant a lot to me, and the responsibility I feel to make sure that in all ways that everything we do is exactly a perfect representation of what that means, what it means to be Canadian, especially in the current political climate. So, we found some really good additions. We have a good foundation for everything that this team can become and the potential that we believe we have as a group. And we're going to keep, I think, pushing the right people in this project in the right ways to give us the best chance to really be successful in next summer.
Thank you, Coach. Do we have time for one more? One more question.
It's quite okay if we don't.
No, we actually do. So Ben Stainer, go ahead, please.
Okay, Ben. Ben, you there?
Can you hear us, Ben?
Are you on mute?
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
I was on mute.
Okay.
You've named some players to your preliminary squad that haven't been involved in the national team in a while, guys like Mark Anthony Kaye and Lucas Cavallini. Would there be an interest in having some of these more veteran names that were part of Herdman's era back in this team for the Gold Cup?
Both are a little bit different situation. Lucas and I had a good Mark Anthony Kay and I have been in good have been texting a lot and voice messages a lot over the last months. And I know that he's eager to be part of this. Lucas and I had a good conversation about a week ago. And we discussed what it could look like for him and what it would look like. Look, in the end, for me, it's what are the experiences? What are the potentials of the players? How would they fit into what we're doing as a group? How would they add to who we are as a team? And then, yeah, I mean, you know, we're clearly creating an identity, a football identity, and we're attaching it to this brotherhood that's already existing within the team. And so for me, I'm always trying to get the balance right of what are the potential of each of the different people and players. How could they fit in the overall vision of what we're trying to create? And, you know, how to basically create a development path over what we have done over the last year and what we will do in the next year to make sure that next summer we have the absolute 26 best people possible to give us a chance to achieve our true potential, which we believe is big. We believe we have a really talented group with really special people where we can achieve something together. So that's really what every decision that gets made about every squad, every lineup, every sub, everything is about this vision for being at our best next summer. So, you know, but we're really excited. We're really excited for this summer, and we really want to push to try to win a trophy.